This is setup of a sports player. First off, we have a Dell Slimline computer. These model changes as new generations come out. Currently 7060. Your model may be a little bit differently. This is running a headless Linux. On the back of the server, there are two Ethernet ports. School or site internet always goes into the one that's on board. And then everything else plugs into this one. So connected to this port is an 8-port unmanaged switch. You can plug this cable into whatever port you want. We typically choose port 1 as that. Next, we have our latest OmniTick 5.8 access point from from MikroTik. We have a PoE injector. This injector has a laptop looking power supply. You plug that in, and then on the injector itself you plug the injector. We've been plugging it into port 2, and then on the back of the injector, this cable plugs into the first port on the MikroTik. That is what powers it up. It also is what gives it connectivity to the switch. The site that we're setting up now, they have fiber, so they are not going to be wireless on the board. If your board is wireless, what we have been using lately are MikroTik 60G radios. We have 2 of these. One we attach to the outside of the press box pointed towards the sign, and we have one on the sign pointed back towards the press box. These also have a PoE injector, and in that case, again, we are plugging the PoE injector into port 3, and then you would plug the PoE cable, an Ethernet cable, all the way to the back port on the 60G puck. Again, if your site does not have wireless, if it has fiber, disregard this. But this is where you would plug that cable from the PoE injector. We have all-in-one computers. This is one touchscreen Lenovo, and this site that we're using has a bunch of laptops. We usually turn off Wi-Fi, and the back is Ethernet. Again, Ethernet into the switch. Again, 1 is the server, 2 is the access point. If your site has wireless scoreboard, 3 is the satellite radio, and then right here we've got 4 and 5 as our two computers. This laptop comes with a USB-C to Ethernet adapter. Again, we have turned off Wi-Fi, so that's connectivity. This site has 3 cameras. The cameras come with a battery, but we provide a higher capacity battery. These cameras, you have to charge the battery in the camera. On top of the camera, we have our wireless encoder. These encoders come with batteries, and for every 2 cameras, we give 1 charger. This site has 3 cameras and 3 batteries, so this site will get 2 chargers. But this battery connects right here to power up the encoder. But these encoders also have a outlet adapter, so right now these encoders are plugged up into our power strip. In the instance, this site has 2 stationary cameras and 1 wireless camera. I would suggest, if you have your cameras up on top of your press box in your crow's nest and you've got a power strip available, I would suggest plugging the encoder and the camera into your power strip, thereby saving your battery for both the encoder and for the camera, for the roaming camera that's roaming around. On these encoders, it's a standard camera shoe that's going to plug into the top of the camera, and then this screws into the bottom of the encoder, and then you just slide the encoder on. When you power an encoder, HDMI out of the encoder and HDMI into the camera, and we pre-configure them and they show up. These cameras have IP addresses that we set up in Sports Player, but in Sports Player, as you can see, I've got camera 1, camera 2, and camera 3, and they're all on. Audio on the server, we audio line out on the server, and we provide We provide 3.5mm jack to RCA cables. Some sites just go straight RCA cable into their soundboard. We also provide this EdCore box. Plug your RCA cables into that. And then we also provide a standard microphone XLR cable. Whichever end, connector end, your soundboard needs, you cut off the other end. And there's three lines in here, 2 signals and a ground, and again, 2 signals and a ground. And you just give this cable to whoever's running your audio, and they'll know what to do. That access points. The back of it has a connector, and for every radio we sell with the system, we provide a mount. Standard mount, you could screw this into the side of the press box or into the eave on the roof, and this connector right here is standard. It will slide right into the back of that access point. But you also can use this if you have a pipe, chain link or such. You could mount this, and there is an included hose clamp that you could use to fasten this whole thing to a pipe. In the event of the 60G puck, these mounts also come with its own hose pipe clamp adapter, and you would basically just undo this part and screw this in, and then you could, using another hose clamp or zip ties, you could fasten the satellite radio. These ends, however you wanted to do it, these ends would made up to this, and then you would fasten it with your hose clamp or your zip tie. This site is going to does not have a wireless keyboard. It has fiber out to the board. So in that instance, we have DisplayPort to DVI. The DisplayPort would come out of the server, and then you would plug that DVI port into the back of the Novastar sending unit, which would connect to your fiber and go to the board. On sites that have wireless, it's going to be actually getting a signal from either the Omnitech or from the satellite radios, one on the press box and one at the sign. We also provide a DisplayPort to HDMI cable. There's 2 DisplayPorts on the back of the server. Obviously, since this side has fiber, it's wired, the first port is going to be used for the signal, and the second port could be used for that display port cable. If this, on the event of a wireless, you could use the first one, and you could come out of the server with that cable into a device if you were going to do live stream, and we'll be more on that later.